Hello, 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 hello. I go by Bunny, which is a childhood nickname given by my sister, and I like style, and I like Pokemon. And today, I hinted towards this in my earlier video, but I do want to talk about cultural shifts and effects on values, self-expression, and behavior. So, guys, we have been in this quite luxury, clean girl, traditional values pipeline for a long time now, or at least it feels quite long, to be honest. You know, there were these early signs of these changes easily like year, 2 years ago. Now we are in it. But what's interesting is that at this moment in time, we are seeing changes and hints pointing towards more of a relaxed and chill cultural surroundings. You know, the pendulum always swings to the other side, but it's not as if we go from one thing to the next in a snap of a finger. I'm really not good at snapping fingers. That's all I got. All in all, these changes are very layered and subtle. You know, things are multifactorial. Obviously, there are always a lot of things that end up leading cultural shift, things and phenomenon. But what I do want to point out is the economic situation / economic crisis. Yeah, I guess we can call it that at this point. And nostalgia marketing, which ties to the rise of analog everything, basically. Analog everything. Everyone knows the phrase recession indicator, and it really is the situation of today. Like, welcome back to early 90s. You know, gross domestic product decline, unemployment rates rise, and consumer behaviors change. When it comes to trends, style, and culture, some of these talked indicators of less than ideal economic situation include 1. Hemline index, which dates back to 1920s, noting that worse the economic situation, longer the hemline, and more conservative the fits. Which, you know, conservative fits doesn't mean conservative values in general. And to my understanding, the premise of the hemline index roots itself to comfortability when times are tough. And maybe longer hemlines were how comfortable and cozy feelings were achieved in 1920s, but in 2026, I'd say athleisure and loose fits might be more what we would see like during this day and age. And this I personally do not tie in conservative fits, again, conservative fits, at all, because, you know, covering up your body also doesn't mean exclusively conservative as a look. 2. Nostalgia in pop music, craving more, you know, upbeat music in the bleak times, going to festivals, etc. Which, you know, that costs money, obviously, to go onto these festivals. But I can get behind this in a sense that people want to do activities where they feel free for a certain amount of time before getting back to their lives. And I guess realities of lives. Or realities of life. 3. Lipstick index. Lipstick index is something that points to buying small and novelty items as a way to maybe have some, I think you could say, autonomy with money and spending. When all the money goes to just living expenses, it creates this sense of autonomy when you can spend something on just yourself. This can also be seen in the popularity of trinkets, charms, brooches, etc., decorative details in outfits. And what I think we are seeing now is, again, expressing yourself through colorful makeup, for example, after the very clean, no makeup look. Not to say makeup is inexpensive by any means, but some of it definitely is more affordable, and compared to new clothing items, you know, it is less expensive than bigger items if you avoid the most expensive brands. 4. One that ties together with the previous one is luxury brands providing small trinkets, food items, and food marketing, which we have seen and are still seeing. Again, way to provide means for the masses to enjoy luxury brands in some form. Basically, I guess in any form. And 5. Nostalgia in all its forms, not just music. And this is a huge topic on its own, which I'll talk more about in a minute. Now let's do a OOTD break. OOTD break. This shirt is nothing new. It's my Akatsuki shirt, thrifted and vintage from Champion. And here we have a colored pink shirt underneath. Guys, I can't help myself. I just have to do the outfits. I can't help myself. Sorry. Now, at this point, I do want to say that obviously everything is not a recession indicator. I've been talking about the boho revival, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry for mentioning it again, but that does slightly tie to 2010s as well, where the, festival culture was quite big and people were beating their face with more colorful makeup than nowadays. And that can be its own thing without the inclination of economic issues. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, there are many phenomena that affects change. And it's always multifactorial, which is why I like to talk about it and, inspect a little. Like, we can't obviously predict anything with 100% certainty or accuracy, but I I just have to say that the fact that 2016 pictures are suddenly popping up everywhere in social media it's pointing towards something, it's pointing towards something. Now, when talking about nostalgia, we have obviously been seeing nostalgia baiting happening in almost every media. Think about film industry, for example, all the remakes and sequels, or the recent craving of going analog with flip phones and other electronic devices as well, or fashion. Fashion. She's in fashion. Na-na. Do you know this song by Paolo Nutini? It's good. It's good. If you don't know it, you have to listen to it. It's good. We already had the Y2K thing happening, and now, the 90s supermodel aesthetic is happening, and it's quite a hot button topic. Yeah, I'd use that term, hot button topic at this moment. Although, in regards to that, I have to say, we also have things like public health crisis in almost every Western country, and answering to that issue, well, not maybe answering, but we also have the rise of GLP-1 medication or drugs, whichever term you like to use, and those also in their own way affect the fashionable aesthetic. But it's a bit odd, it's fairly odd to see the whole Hollywood doing the exact same thing, exact same time, and it does create this kind of social normality surrounding the subject of a human body, which I don't think we should ever view human body or body types as a trending, I have to do this always, trending subject. Anyways, cultural climate now encourages young people, young teenagers and children to consume and look up content that specifically focuses on very slender physique. I view that as an issue. Now, whether or not you or I or anyone else thinks the changes are good or bad, it doesn't really change the fact that some changes are happening or have happened already. This just popped into my head, like regarding nostalgia and fashion in general, or I guess quite specifically. We just also very recently had the Vivienne Westwood and Nana collaboration, which I guess it can be a quite specific example of nostalgia, but it still is. It definitely is nostalgic to a lot of people that have read, the manga. So anime manga crowd also represented here in the nostalgia marketing. I wonder when we are gonna get something like, obviously we had the One Piece. What's the word? Live action. We just had we had the One Piece live action, and we are getting the second season of that, which I actually did like the live action series. I thought it was good. I have been following, the guy who plays Sanji, and his YouTube page and YouTube videos, like how he prepped for being Sanji, etc., and I find it very interesting. That's, again, quite nostalgic to people who have almost grown up, reading One Piece or watching the anime. But my next point, or next thing I want to discuss or I want to say is that there is one specific thing that ties itself to both nostalgia and slender physique, at least slender as an idea, and that is, can you guess it? It's smoking. This is not great. This we see in fashion marketing now, and this is very reminiscent of the 90s. And I've seen younger people, by this I mean younger than myself, saying that even though smoking is bad for you and it's not obviously great, it's a bad influence, but still, it's cool. It is not cool. It's not cool by any means. By the way, it's almost 7:30 p.m. I'm drinking decaf coffee. I hope that the media and frankly the fashion industry will very quickly get past this. You know, we have again seen cigs in catwalks, Sabrina Carpenter, smoking in an ad or campaign, which I guess the smoking was for glamour effect. It's not glamorous, guys. It's not glamorous. Like, wake up. The brand Glossier shoved a Zippo lighter in their holiday campaign. And there are a lot of other examples as well. I have to reiterate, it is not glamorous. And fashion and beauty industry seriously need to, dip their toe into some substance abuse prevention. Now, at the very beginning of this video, I mentioned that the pendulum always swings, and we are seeing changes to more relaxed and not clean girl aesthetic, and in my opinion this is one very negative example of this thing happening. The messy girl, the girl who smokes. I'm not condemning anyone who does enjoy a cig once in a while, or if it's just your habit, then fine, but don't put it in a campaign. Don't make it cool so that children see it, because at least where I am, underage people have finally, the curve finally shows that smoking cigarettes isn't as prevalent, but nicotine usage is up, and we don't need cigarettes to come back and, add that nicotine usage. Honestly, substance abuse prevention, please, and thank you. This is also very clearly part of the nostalgia baiting, because it is nostalgic. It is very analog too. How about the nostalgia where Samantha Miranda and Charlotte told Carrie smoking is a vile habit and they all hate it? Can we focus on that bit of nostalgia, please? Thank you. Thank you. So it really is a narrow beam, isn't it? Now, I am aware of the crazy situations happening in the United States. I don't experience the same things and pressures since I'm not from there, and certain pressures of traditional and very right-leaning politics and ideologies are something that I am lucky enough not to encounter and not to have to succumb to. But it is all obviously quite visible in media. And I just want to make it clear, since the times are at this very moment very super crazy and worrying and sad, that in this video I am referring to the cultural climate, as in pop culture, fashion. Surely the politics play a role, but I just want you to know I'm not really touching the horrific things that are happening, but I do want to acknowledge that they are happening, and they are also tied, the climate, cultural climate, obviously, but that is just out of the scope of this video. But I do want to acknowledge it, and I guess I can't say anything else that I'm very sorry. But the hints that pop culture as a whole would be going further away from that what I just described, so from the more traditional side of things, is most welcome. But we don't want to hop from clean girl to the to chain smoking and lung cancer, obviously. So the pendulum always swings, and it doesn't always have to swing it could stay in the middle, right? I'm trying to lining this up again. Oh my god. Can we just stick with expressing ourselves with colorful makeup and not unhealthy and detrimental behavior? Now, to conclude, I don't really know how to conclude. I feel like this yap sesh turned to a non-concludable little ball with dark topics. Okay, let's just say this. I think that especially during the more non-stable economic times, the nostalgia marketing really hits because it allows the consumer to remember the times when everything was better. But was it though? Like, were the times better? And if they were, do you actually remember them? Like, there was a recession in the early 90s. So were the times better? And to anyone who is defending smoking and saying it's cool, were you in the bars when smoking was allowed? You know, in the bar, and everyone had to inhale the cigarette smoke. I guess you weren't there. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I do love nostalgia personally. I don't know anyone who hates it. I don't know anyone who dislikes nostalgia. It is very effective. Like, I'm going to see Devil Wears Prada too. I'm gonna see it. Like, I'm gonna see it even if the movie is bad. Like, if I see someone reacting to it or I read a review and they say it's like garbage, I'm gonna go and see it. I'm gonna go and see it even if the costume design is bad or leaves something to hope for or leaves everything to hope for, because nostalgia does work. And with that being said, are we going away from the quiet luxury to rebel against the cultural push of traditional everything? Or are we just having a 2010s renaissance? I guess you can't really call it a renaissance, but I just did. We who consume should be very aware of the fact that marketing and big companies know that the economic times are tough, and they use consumer data to target audiences. So do we have to spend money on small luxury goods, or like, could we maybe have some second thoughts? Again, I collect Pokemon cards. You know, who am I to speak on these things? I'm not someone who doesn't spend money on pointless things, although to me they aren't pointless. To me, like, I value them and they do have monetary value, but I value them. I want to collect them, so I do put some money on them. But I think we all do it. This is cold now. The surroundings and cultural climate where we behave this way, does the cultural, like, let me rephrase and gather my thoughts, because I have a question coming. Does the cultural and economic shifts or climate mold our behavior, or do we just vote with our wallets and our behavior and give a hint to multi-million companies or corporations what we would actually want to spend our money on? And did we already vote for luxury coffees and trinkets? And I guess limited edition lighters? Let me know down below. Now, thank you for watching this video if you made it this far. I think it's very clear still that I'm getting used to talking to the mic. I've been streaming as well, and that helps but then I'm looking at the screen because I'm playing, you know, the game, and then I'm looking at the camera, and then I'm looking at the chat, which is on the other direction. But I'm like slowly getting used to it, but I sometimes find it hard to find my words, and there are like a lot of pauses. English is not my first language, obviously. But yeah, thank you for watching. You can do the YouTube things if you want to. And you can follow me on my Instagram, which is puni014_. Mainly, like, it's Instagram to me, it's kind of like my style diary, but I do add some Pokemon content there. And also, if you've seen my YouTube channel, you know that I add some Pokemon content here as well, and also my streams. But if you want to play with me or watch me play or hang out with me live, then, you know, you can go to twitch.tv/puni014 and I'll talk to you there. I also feel like I'm slouching in these videos. I would like to be very, you know, have a good posture, but I'm just slouching on my chair here. Yeah, did I have something to update anyone on? I'm trying to remember, because I had this video. I wanted to record this video now. Oh, about the next videos maybe. I am working on a continuation. Is that how you say it? Continuation. About this style roots video that I did, because I found my 3 style roots. And I want to kind of continue that topic. Kind of explore, are those my style roots? How do I feel about them? Etc. So a style video coming. And then I kind of want to make a video about the TV show Younger, which I've been watching. I haven't watched it all the way through just yet, but I'm almost at the end. So there's interesting costume design in the TV series. In a way that you can really see the evolution of the characters, like in their costume design. And my favorite character probably is Diana Trout, who is like a boss woman. There are some parallels with that show and Sex and the City, I think, because this show is also by Darren Star. And yeah, I kind of want to talk about that, but yeah, maybe I'll do, because in this channel, I talk about what interests me. Anyway, I'll be yapping for quite some time, so thank you for watching and bye, guys. By the way, I am very happy with the new hair. Love being a short hair girly right now. Okay, bye.